You're listening to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. And of course, I'm your host, Marty Jalov, and I come at you every single Monday night at 7 o'clock to talk about your job, your career, your vision made clear, the skills that you hone for the business that you own, the ups and downs, the smiles and frowns, where you're at and where you're bound. And if you miss any of today's episode, tune in later in the week to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness anywhere you listen to podcasts. It seemed like I almost forgot the name of my own podcast. But as you know, I'm on a quest to bring you the very best. I look around the industry and bring you a special guest. And today is no exception. I have a good friend of mine, a guy that I wish we talk a little bit more. I wish we did, because every time I chat with you, Bruce, I have a great time, learn a little something from you. And I think we have more in common than we first thought. So,
Yes,
so
sure.
Bruce, I'm going to hand it over to you. You're on the air. Look at this. You're on the camera and everything.
There you go.
So, Bruce, I know you do quite a few things. And today we're going to be talking about international hair designs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, the first thing I want to know is, Bruce, tell me a little bit about international hair designs. What makes it special and how can people find you?
Okay, well, you can just Google International Hair Designs. We're located at 860 West Illinois Route 22 in Lake Zurich, Illinois, in the North Lake Commons Shopping Mall. We're going on our 47th year in business.
47 years.
I think it is 47.
And it's always been there at that location?
Well, it has. It was across the street for a while, but
Okay.
now we're in the North Commons Lake Shopping Mall. Everybody seems to know where the UPS is, and we're right down
Yeah,
from
there you
the
go. And it's
UPS.
around the corner. Yeah, it's
right
around
at
the
the
corner from the new Jewel. Let's
That's
call
correct.
it right.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's
So when
correct.
you say you were across the street, were you at where the pet center is now?
Yes, over there. It used to be
all right.
an Eagle Shopping's grocery store over there. We were over there. That's where it started. So
Gotcha.
We're actually, I think, talking to the mayor of Lake Zurich, I think we're actually one of the oldest businesses now in Lake Zurich.
That's
That's correct.
right.
That's correct.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
So so the best way to find you is Google International Hair
Correct.
Designs
Or www.int/hair.com.
Oh, okay. Perfect. And then I'm assuming, I'm not going to hold you to this. I'm assuming you're on Facebook, Instagram.
We are.
Those kind of places,
That's
right?
correct. That's correct. Facebook, Instagram, we do a lot of, both of those things.
Okay,
So,
perfect. Because especially with a hair design place, you're going to want to see what you guys do indoors. So you're going to want to see new styles, new dyes, etc.
Correct.
Everything
Correct. We're actually going on third generation as far as the ownership of the salon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're also third and fourth generation of our clientele. So
Wow.
So it works both ways.
Yeah, you got to figure with all those years. Yeah, you're not just
That's
doing
correct.
the same
It's kind
people.
of like we call it. It's the place where everybody knows your name. So we're
There you
kind of
go.
like the Cheers of Lake Zurich.
I gotcha. So Bruce, I don't know how familiar you are with my show, and I know you said you just watched an episode or two,
quick,
right?
right.
Okay, that's all right. That's
Yeah.
all right. Hopefully this is so much fun for you that you become a regular listener.
Well,
All right, we'll see. Yeah, I
okay.
like it.
Yeah.
We'll set the bar.
Sure.
All
Okay.
right. So a couple things we do is every week, what I do is I use the acronym BACON, BACON, to work as a kind of a subtle outline for what we're going to talk about. And the reason for that, the reason we're called Bacon Bits is simple. Everything that bacon touches just becomes a little bit better, right?
It does.
And so that's what we're doing. We're going to wrap bacon around hairstyling right now.
Sounds
all right.
great.
And I want to learn quite a bit from you. And we're going to share some different ideas. But of course, I'm not talking about the bacon for chewing. I'm talking about the bacon for doing. Okay.
Sounds good, Marty.
And so here we go. The bacon we're going to talk about today, and again, this is a loose outline, is building relationships. And what's really cool is when we talked and we were going to get you on the show, I was trying to think, wow, I don't really know much about hairdressers because I lost that ability to go there a long time ago, right? But I said, what do salons need to do on a regular basis that is so painfully obvious? Everyone has had their hair cut somewhere, and there's something so specific about them that we want to see how every other business can use those exact same things. And so B was building relationships. Any stylist is going to have to be a master at building relationships to keep those customers coming back.
That's correct. That's basically what that's basically what our business is.
Yeah.
Is it's building relationships with an awesome experience. That's the two things that that's our motto at
I like
International Hair Designs. Yeah.
I like
it's really all about that. And the relationships are everything. I mean, a lot of the times the
And
clients will tell their hairstylist things that they don't tell a
well,
lot of other people. There's a lot of confidentiality that's
sure,
involved
sure.
with
And
a client.
it's an implied
It
confidentiality,
is.
right?
I
Right.
mean, it's the things they hear, you'd be surprised. So I mean,
We were just in the previous show, we were talking a little bit about mental health, right? And how back in the day, before there you'd go to a therapist, you'd either go to your barber or your bartender, right?
absolutely,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
correct.
So
That's
so
correct.
building relationships. I want to get through the rest of the letters here so people know what we're going to be talking about, so they'll stay tuned. So B was build relationships. A is active listening, which is really important for you guys. C is customization. All right. O is for outstanding experience. I always think you've got, if you want to succeed in this world, you've got to over deliver, right? And then N is nurturing your reputation. So that's what we're going to get into. But there's another thing that I started not too long ago, and I really have fun with this because I like being in control, Bruce. So what we do is, or what I've just started doing, is I come up with some random questions, and I know
Okay.
I fed you a little bit
Yeah, a little
about the
bit.
bacon ahead of
Yeah,
time, and
not
you're like,
much, but a
you're
little bit.
right, right, and you're like everyone else. You're like, what else are we going to talk about? What else are we going to talk about? And it's good because I want it to be more of a spontaneous conversation and let the conversation go wherever it needs to go, as opposed to us scripting the whole
Mhm.
thing. All right. So here's a couple. I'm going to ask you a couple questions, and maybe throughout the show, I'll ask you a couple more.
Okay.
All right. But I want you to think about this. If your salon, all right, I'm going to put the camera on you, so you really got to think about this. If your salon had a signature cocktail, okay, so think about what you do, what you stand for. If your salon had a signature cocktail, what would it be called, and what would be in it?
Wow.
I told you they're not going to be easy questions. They're
Yeah.
supposed to be fun questions. Let me put it this way: it's your salon. You could say whatever you want.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with cocktails, so
I thought you were going to say something like vodka and permanent solution.
well,
Okay,
I mean,
which sounds like would be
uh,
awful.
it would probably be a mixture of a lot of different things, to be honest with
Oh,
you.
I like that. And you guys
Because
specialize in dye. So what color
well,
would
it's
it be?
color. Our
Yeah,
color.
yeah,
We're a color salon, a full
yeah, yeah.
service color salon is really that's the difference between us is and a lot of the other salons is that
Okay.
when something happens somewhere else, they come to International Hair Designs.
Oh, so you fix the
That's
problems at
correct.
other
That's
places.
correct. That's
I
correct.
like
So
that.
they're kind of like chemists.
Wow. So the cocktail would have been perfect. What we got to do is we got to ask your stylist. Next time we're going to get a
Yeah,
stylist
yeah.
or two in here.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
They
All
they
right.
would like that. They would like that.
All right. So then I'll tell you what, since you couldn't come up with a perfect answer for that. All right. Let me give you one other question.
Okay.
All right. And this one is now obviously, or I say obviously, but I don't know. Have you ever cut anyone's hair? Do you ever
I
do
do not
not
do hair.
hair?
I do tell my partners though,
Yeah.
which are family, that if I came back in the next lifetime, I would come back as a colorist. Absolutely.
Really?
Oh,
Oh, that's awesome.
absolutely.
That's tremendous.
Absolutely.
Well,
What a profession.
yeah.
What a way to spend your days.
Really?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. Amazing.
That
Amazing.
sounds cool. We're going to dig into that a little bit more. Why that
Mhm.
specific? But all right. So the question is this: is imagine you came back and now you're a colorist.
Okay.
You cut hair, you style hair, you color hair, the whole bit. If you could do one celebrity's hair, and it could be somebody dead or alive. Obviously, we're going to say they're alive now.
Okay.
They could have been from the past. One celebrity that you wish you could do their hair. Who do you think that would be?
Celebrity.
Yeah.
Man, that's a tough one. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
Like,
Cher.
oh, there you go. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. All right,
Yeah.
so that's good. I told you. See how we start off with these questions, so now everything else is easy.
Yeah.
All
There you
right,
go.
but Cher would be an interesting one.
Sure would.
I think Cher would. That'd be a great conversation to have with Cher. Just doing her hair and
Absolutely.
chatting with her.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So let's get into this a little bit. We started jumping into this. B is building relationships. Okay. And like I said, you, aside from international hair, you got other side gigs,
I
right?
do.
You
I
got
do.
plenty
I
of
do.
things to
I
do.
do. I'm
And
very busy.
yeah, and exactly. And you don't have to get into that, but I want you to think about how you would define how does stylists build relationships? What are the stepping stones, the things that they do? If you could think about they got to do this, and they got to do this, they got to do this. What are kind of the things that they really need that any business could take a lesson from a stylist
Well,
on?
there's a bunch of things that
Yeah.
definitely I would say first and foremost, they need to be good listeners.
Yes, yes.
Definitely need to be good listeners. They need to be punctual.
Yep.
They need to be on time. They need to be well trained and
Right.
educated.
Well, now, hold on. Before you get through all just what stylists
Yeah.
need, we're talking about specific about relationships. How do
Okay.
they build
Well,
relationships?
they build them by listening.
Okay, sure.
And another thing I would say that's very important is they need to stay kind of neutral.
Oh, that's important. I
You
think
know what I
that's
mean?
really
Can't
strong.
be certain things you don't want to, they don't,
You don't want to disagree, and
or
you
don't
don't
want
necessarily
to,
want to agree.
that's correct.
Yeah,
And certain
yeah,
things you don't want to talk about, I
yeah.
mean, you want to keep it confidential.
Right, right,
Definitely. I think that is a big part of developing and building those relationships
right.
that then the client, that they build a trust.
Right.
And
So I'm imagining, and I think about this back in the day when I had hair or even a little
mm,
bit of hair, right? And I have I go back to this when I was younger. I had really long hair.
wow.
I
Yeah,
did
me
the
too.
I did the mullet, right?
Mhm.
And so it was business in front, party in the
Sure.
back, right? And I think it's more difficult to cut really short hair and make it look good than long hair. You take an inch off of long hair. Sometimes nobody knows you got a haircut. But short hair, especially when I had it was, balding on top and
Hmm.
whatever I had on the sides, and you're like blend it in. And she's like, all right, blend this hair into nothing, right?
That's
Okay,
eventually what happens, right?
right, exactly,
Mhm.
right. Well, I think what it is I read something that people who are balding like this, a sign of higher intelligence.
Well, there you
Okay,
go.
so you like that,
I'm
right?
losing it
There
too a
you
little
go, there
bit.
you go.
There you
So
go.
you're getting
Yeah,
smarter,
getting there.
the smart of the
Getting there.
moment on this
There you
show,
go.
right?
Mm.
uh, but what would you say if you were going to hire somebody new? How do you get them to build that trust with the clientele that they feel comfortable sharing stories, that they can open up? What are some of the things that you would tell them? This is what you need to do.
Well, you definitely need to focus on the craft first of all and
Right.
foremost,
Sure.
what you're doing, and you need to be really one of the most important things I think is to really be a good listener.
Wow, you're jumping all over the letter A, active listening, but that's all right. That's all right.
I mean,
That's
it's just
no,
it's really important
certainly.
instead of talking all the time.
Right, right.
To ask questions about their lives, their families, to take an interest in maybe in the client a little bit more, and to also a consultation. Like if it's going to be a balayage, or it's going to be a different color change, or it's
Wait,
going to be
wait. What
some.
is a balayage?
Oh, that's you've seen them around. That's where the whole hair is one different color where
Oh,
they change
okay.
it all.
Oh, that's cool.
From
Okay.
halfway down or three
Yeah, yeah,
quarters down.
yeah.
So if it's going to be something like that, then the consultation is something that's very important.
Right,
That
right.
they need to come in, and they need to set up a time where they have a consultation where the stylist can go over everything with them and ask a lot of questions. And it's important. It's really important
Sure.
so that the client can get exactly what they're looking for. Sometimes it's not possible. That's why we have a consultation.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm
Mhm.
I'm sure. What are some of the things? Do you remember anything that you've heard from the stylist or that about customers asking, "Can you do this?" And the stylist like, "No, we can't do that."
Oh, absolutely,
Can you think of
absolutely.
anything offhand?
Well, like sometimes if it's an extreme color change,
Right,
sometimes it has to be done in a process. There's a process that takes
right.
time, and it can't be just in an hour. I'm going to go from a dark from a brunette to a blonde. It's just
Right.
not going to happen. So
Okay.
it's kind of a reality check on some sides too. We're not there just to take the credit card. That's
Right,
just
right.
not what we're there for. We're there for an awesome experience for the client.
Okay. I like that a lot. So, I think part of the idea of building relationships too, I look at this is it's remembering the details. It's when the customer's coming back and forth or not back and forth, back over and over again. It's remembering the little details like, are these people married? Do they have
Of
children,
course.
etc. That kind of stuff.
Mm,
Knowing a person's name. I mean, we all like being called by name, right? And so
absolutely.
understanding. So do you guys have a process, a database where they can put in all this
Oh,
additional customer
absolutely. We have a
yeah.
CRM, definitely.
Oh, do you?
That's
All
most
right.
important, yes.
Yeah.
Because what a lot of times that's what's in there is the formulas. There's a very
Oh, good,
you
good.
should
Yeah.
see our color room. It's twice the size of this.
Right, right.
And it's like it's intense to see all the different colors and all the different formulas and
Nice.
the mixtures and everything that go into making a color.
Right. That
And,
it's still then healthy for the hair and everything, right?
right,
Yeah, it's
right.
not just, we're gonna
And
yeah,
sometimes they'll let them know that, the client know that maybe it's, you can't do that because it's not healthy for the hair. First and
gotcha.
foremost, they're licensed.
Right,
You have
right.
to be licensed to work at our salon. You have to
Okay.
have a cosmetology a license, and that
Okay.
has to be renewed every year. So you
Really?
have, oh
Okay.
yeah, that's through the state of Illinois.
Right,
So
right. And so, and then obviously, is there there's well, especially
continuing
through
education.
continuing
That's correct.
education, because new chemistry is happening, new
A lot
colors
of
become
changes.
popular. Right,
Yeah,
right.
always changing this
Yeah.
business.
What do you know of anything that you would have said back in the however many years you've owned the place? Do you remember any a big radical change, something that popped up that you were like, that was
Well,
like
well,
groundbreaking?
I do know that, like as of now, we could go back even 30 years or 35 years ago, there was a thing, perms were very,
Yeah.
very big. So what we're seeing now, and I can tell by when I'm there, I can tell by the smell. So
Sure,
because they
sure.
have a very distinct smell.
Oh
So
yeah.
so they're starting to come back again.
Are they really? Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And you're
Yes.
absolutely right. That is a very strong smell.
Yeah. So things go in cycles,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
that's with the hairstyles and with all that type of thing. It's so those are back
Right,
kind of, so
right.
which is kind of nice.
Yeah. Okay. So I got to tell you a perm story that you'll love. It. So I told you back in the day, a
Mhm.
long time ago, I had long hair and I had hair on top of my head, on the sides, and in the back. I mean, I had long hair, and I was talking to this one girl. I wanted to kind of date her a little bit, and she was iffy and stuff like that. And she had said to me, she goes, that your hair is so long, it's barely got any body. You should go get a really loose perm with the long hair in the back just to give it some body. And I was like, well, if you're just talking a couple gentle curls, I could see doing that, just
Sure.
something just a
Sure.
little bit, right? And so I went to a friend of mine whose sister-in-law ran a shop, right? And so I go in there and I explain what I want, and she was like, "No, all right, I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you." It wasn't until it was done that I realized that this girl really didn't like me. Okay,
Oh,
because I ended up walking out of there looking like Rick James.
yeah, right.
Okay,
She
and
wound a little tight,
wound
huh?
a little tight, and not just it through the length, the top and
Yeah.
everything. I walked out of there just like, forget the smell. I was like beet red going, oh my gosh, like I got to go to work tomorrow. This is incredible. Right. And they tell you with a perm, like, let it set. Don't wash your hair
Mhm.
right away. Right.
Correct.
Cause it'll fall. I went home, washed it like 6 times, hoping it would fall. It never fell. Whatever she was doing,
She did it
she
right.
she knew
She did a good job.
she wanted to make sure it was permanent,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, so that was a rough one. That and I'm gonna say that's what caused my hair to fall
There you go. There you
was
go.
the stress of
Mhm.
a bad perm. All right, so I'm interested that's coming back, and I wonder what changes have happened. Like the chemistry has probably changed a little bit on that as well.
Yeah,
I'm
well, it's
guessing.
just like style with clothes and with all those
Yeah.
things too that they cycle in and they cycle out. So
Right.
it's like,
Right.
um, that's kind of what it is. Same with hairstyles as far as cutting goes. There's
Right.
different. Some of those things are coming back in. Like I said, I'm not very technically
Yeah.
advanced as far as
You're not the
that. That
guy.
would be my wife,
Okay.
Dawn,
All right.
who's the master. I mean, she's the American board certified hair colorist. She's really the one. She's worked there since she was, I think, 18. So she's been
Oh,
there
wow.
for her whole. I think she's 40 years, celebrating 40 years
Holy
at the
cow. That's
salon.
beautiful.
Yeah, at the salon this year, or real soon, right now, real quick here within the next month, I think. So she
She'll be celebrating. So
40 years at the salon.
you're gonna
Right.
take her out somewhere nice to celebrate her
Of
40th
course,
year? Yeah. Just
absolutely,
now I
absolutely.
had to throw that
Yeah,
out there
of
in case she's
course.
listening to the show, right?
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go.
So back to this building relationships, because I want to get through this. Is some of the other things that you have to think about is this building a community? Because that type of thing is the more that you have people who bring their friends, people who bring people, that's what's so important, because then aside from the salon being known, it's the individual stylists who are known, like, oh, you got to go and talk to Judy. Like, Judy is the best at this, that type of thing. And I think it's important for stylists and yourself, like in your social media, the way you promote, that you're building a sense of community. And I think that in itself is important. And that I think comes down to what I think you were alluding to earlier is it's about the people. It's not the purchase. It's not about, we're not just doing this to get the money. The way you're saying it, it sounds like you're not afraid to tell people, no, you really shouldn't do that.
Absolutely.
Instead, you should do this.
Absolutely.
Right?
Happens more than you would think. And
Really?
oh yeah, because you want repeat referral customers. That's how we built our business.
Right. And it's got to be. And I always lay this out that, I don't view someone as a customer until they buy the second time. Anyone can come in and get a haircut, get their hair done. If they don't come back, they're not a customer. They come back a second time, you have a great opportunity to make them a lifelong customer, right?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
And I think once you do that and they become a customer and they're really happy, we get into that over delivering. That is the only time I would ask them for referrals. Okay, I don't want somebody to come in for the first time. Hey,
no, that's not the time.
No, it's kind of like, because that immediately turns them off about, you're not trying to build a relationship with me. You're only using me to get to somebody else.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So it's referrals, it's repeat, and it's reviews.
Oh, there you go. The 3 R's. I like that. That's right.
Right.
Do you have that plastered on the wall somewhere?
We don't push it kind of like that hard. A lot of times it's just organic. It just builds itself, and we're Google 5.0 reviews Salon. So
nice.
you can see there, and that brings us business too, is that, like I said, it's about building those relationships with an absolute awesome experience.
Right. So you're a 5.0, huh?
That's correct.
That's crazy, because in today's day and age, you get people who love social media and Google to be their sounding board, where they want to shout out from the rafters. And if they can, they want to do it anonymously. Right. And I've seen some people who just disagree with a decision a company makes, and then they try to flood it with those.
Yes. I mean, it happens.
It's awful. And they don't realize, they feel that that's their only power, and they don't realize that they can really be hurting some people. So
correct.
I'm glad you deliver that type of a stellar business that doesn't happen to you.
It's important. It's important. This is a family business. This is, something that's very important and dear to our hearts, is this business.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So with this, it's a family business. So has it always been called International Hair Designs?
It has.
Okay.
It has.
So why international, if you were to guess?
Well, I think because of the different nationalities that we have that work at the salon.
Oh, that's cool.
Stylists from all over the world. Work in international
really
hair, of course. Italian,
you say,
Russian,
of course. How do I know? That's
Italian,
awesome.
Russian, Poland, Greek. We have them from all over.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that is really cool. I thought it had something to do with the International House of Pancakes.
Yeah,
but
I wish it did. I love it. One of my faves.
There you go. Maybe you do a collaboration.
There we go.
Let's see what happens. All right. So we did the B, which is building relationships. A, we're just going to jump into this a little bit. This will be a little faster. A is for active listening. And like you said, it's so important that it's not just listening, but it's active listening. It's asking the questions so you can gather more information. It's really this whole idea of paying attention to what people have to say. And too often, people don't understand the art of asking questions, right? They ask questions to fill in dead air.
Of course.
Or what they'll do is, and I did some sales training for a place earlier today, and we were training that. And one of the people were doing this whole ask five questions in a row, boom, 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 boom. And I was like, you never found the answer. And if you're not after the answer, why ask the question?
Correct.
Right. So, how do you train your stylists? Or how does your wife train your stylists? There you go. How to become active listeners?
Well, I think part of it is in the interview process and the application process. We can kind of weed that out too, and sometimes it's not always a good fit. For somebody to work at a certain place. And I think that's something that, we kind of figure out before somebody gets, hired, is that, that's one of their skills. That skill set.
Right.
Is to be a good listener. My dad always taught me, he's like, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
There you go. I like that. I always like that saying. So some of the other things and you tell me if you agree with this, is the idea of, first off, we can always ask better questions. Okay, we have to get better at that, and we share that information among other stylists, your other peers. It's I always tell people, take your time, paraphrase what the person just said, and see if you can ask it back. Like, from what I understand or what I think I'm hearing is this, or can you elaborate on that a little bit? Because too often what we do is we listen based on a bias we have because someone, let's put it this way, someone, you're cutting hair, you're dyeing hair all day long, and someone says something that you heard five other people say, so you assume you know why, and
Of
you don't
course.
know because every customer is different,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah,
That's
so
correct.
you have to kind of paraphrase and
Right.
go back to them and treat each
Now,
person
now,
as
now,
as
now on a
individuals.
Saturday,
Yeah.
after being on their feet for
Ah,
6 or 7 or 8
yeah,
hours
right.
and, 10, 15 clients through, it definitely gets to be a tough thing to do.
Oh my god, yeah,
Um,
sure.
it's definitely not an easy thing. These are some of the most talented people that I've really ever seen
But
in my
that's
life that work at our salon. They're just amazing.
I like that. Any leader, any owner who sings the praise for his people, I gotta love that. So let me get into we're gonna I want you to think about this question. We're gonna come back with C is for customization. But believe it or not, Bruce, we're at the bottom of the hour already. We're halfway through this show. Can
Wow.
you believe that?
No, I can't.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to play a couple of announcements, just a couple of quick ones, and then we're going to come right back. So everyone out there, please stay tuned because I've got Bruce. It's Whitmire, right?
That's correct.
There you go. I
You
look at
got
that.
it.
I
You
nailed it
got
in the
it.
first try.
Mm.
So Bruce Whitmire from International Hair Design. We're going to talk a little bit more about what any business, salesperson, leader, etc., any business can learn from salon experts. So stay tuned. You're going to want to hear this. I'm breaking the studio over here.
Program.
Oh. Hey, welcome back. Thank you so very much for staying tuned in to 98.3 FM. You're listening to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. This is great. I have my guest here today is Bruce Whitmire from International Hair Design. We're talking about the things that salon experts, the salon stylists, have to do on a regular basis, the things we think are obvious for us guys. Sometimes we just think back to barbers and stuff like that, but it's the same type of thing that they do on a regular basis that seems obvious, but why aren't we doing it in our regular businesses? We can learn a lot of lessons. So what we've covered so far in today's bacon is B is for building relationships. We got into that pretty deep. And A is active listening. Now we're going to talk about C is customization. And it's not just customization like, hey, I'm going to change the color of your hair, but how you customize the experience, how you customize your product or your service to fit the needs of your customer when it's necessary and when it's possible. All right, so we're going to get into that. But before we do that, I got to remind everyone, if you miss any part of this, you missed the first half of this show, shame on you. You should have showed up earlier. Go to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness anywhere you listen to podcasts. So, Bruce, I'm going to throw another question at you to break you up. All right, because you were getting too comfortable. I got to make you nervous again. All right. So, Bruce, here we go. And so here we go. We're going to make it because I know you don't cut hair, but just imagine this. You have to imagine you do, or put yourself in the feet of one of your stylists. If their blow dryer could play a theme song every time it was turned on, what song should the blow dryer play that really drives home the idea of international hair design?
Oh, it would be from Everybody Knows Your Name.
From Cheers.
From Cheers. Absolutely.
Oh, there
that
you
would be it.
go. All right. I
That would be it.
love it. I love it.
That's
See,
it.
see, I knew after a while you're
Yeah.
loosened up there.
Yeah.
I'll bet you by the end of the show you'll know the signature cocktail of international.
Yeah,
right?
I'll come up with
You're going to go through this whole thing. It's going to be like ouzo from Greece, Russian
Yes,
vodka. That's right. You're going to go through the whole. You're going to go through the whole thing.
That's right.
All right. So, Bruce, I want to talk a little bit about customization. All right. This idea of how important it is when you are dealing with customers, how you can customize, what you can customize, how you can, sometimes you can't make people's wishes come true. So tell me a little bit about customization, why it's important for a stylist to understand that kind of stuff for their individual customers.
Well, I think because it sets the expectations.
Okay.
For the client. Sometimes the clients don't have realistic expectation.
I'll bet.
So it's kind of the stylist is the professional. They're the one that's trained. They're the ones that do this day in, day out, year in, year out.
Yep.
I mean, if you add up all the time in years in our salon with our stylists, we're at over 150 years of experience.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
So they're the ones that really know what to do and how to customize it. I know I was listening and I could hear one of the clients come in and she just knows one of the stylists. She just sits down and she does what she's supposed to
Yeah.
do. She doesn't even, tell her what she wants. The stylist knows what she wants.
Okay.
So that's kind of
That's beautiful.
customizes it to what there's the trust.
Right. Exactly.
The trust. And obviously that's after many years of taking care of the client,
Sure.
the service.
And I think there's also more to it. Like when you're talking about other businesses and what you're doing, you have to customize the way that you talk to them, right? Because the
Absolutely.
way you're going to talk to one person
Is different than the other.
than the other. And I
so
think
much, so
and,
much.
and so if you do follow-up calls, you're going to talk to them differently on the phone. If you're going to do an email or something like that, there's going to be differences there that sometimes we don't think about, right?
That's correct.
So it's got to be this process of truly understanding your customer and giving them the service, not just cutting their hair or dyeing their hair, but it's the entire package, everything you're giving.
I mean, one thing we've done since the beginning, since I think it's been since 1979 at the salon, is there's always a phone call the day before,
Nice.
personal phone call
Okay.
the day before to the client, reminding them of their appointment.
Nice.
So
nice.
it's something that we still do and go through every night, the night before, and the clients really like that.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's kind of a custom thing that I don't think a lot of other salons are doing, but it's something
Right.
that can be done in.
That's easy.
And instead of maybe sending an email or,
Right.
or a text or something AI generated, it's a personal call.
Sure. And it's got to cut down on cancellations, right?
It does.
Right.
I mean, that's still a speed bump within this business. Is
Certainly.
things happen, things come up.
Right. Exactly. But just that, and just it makes the client feel like you care for them.
Of course.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. So with this customization, I mean, do you offer the idea of like tiered solutions, other options to help the stylist offer different things to the clients? Anything like that?
Well, what we do is the customization would probably be in the levels that we have with the stylist.
Okay.
There's different levels of each stylist, and that's kind of where customization, as far as during that consultation.
Okay.
The stylist,
experience.
the customer can kind of be put in with, depending on which level. So it
Okay.
could be cost based,
Okay.
experience based,
That knowledge based. Right.
knowledge based.
Sure.
It's just exactly what level they're put into
Okay.
as far as the
Okay.
service they're gonna. So that's kind of a customization.
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, without a doubt. I think it's really important that every business know that, because I know as a business owner, a lot of times we just want to cookie cutter everything.
Right.
And say, we always do the same thing
Mm.
for
Yeah.
it's kind of like when you see these homes being built in a neighborhood and you're like, wow, they just built 60 homes that look all exactly the same. And we have the ability to make these changes and tweak things like that. And I think it's important because what you do is you create categories of stylists or categories of product or styles.
And product too.
Right.
We have that too. We carry a lot of different products
Sure, you have
from
to.
around the world. And
Really?
We have different. Yeah,
That's cool.
we have our main two products that we carry our colors are Kuhn. That's from the Netherlands.
Okay.
That's just an outstanding product. And then we're a big Moroccan oil,
Wow.
and we're also Redken. So those are the big ones. And we obviously have a bunch of other ones. We're a retail salon too, as far as products. So a lot of times I think people don't know that International Hair Designs, you can also go on the website and you can buy products. You can purchase product through the website. Correct?
And it's shipped to them. You don't
That's
have to, you don't
correct.
have to come
That's
pick up.
correct.
So I'm gonna tell you, while you're here again and we're on the back half of this, is tell us again where it's located. So because I already like this already. If I didn't know where you were, I would go send somebody.
We're at 860 West Illinois Route 22 in Lake Zurich. It's in the North Lake Commons Shopping Mall.
So that's Rand Road.
That's
22
in Rand. That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct.
All right. And again, you just find you online at
int/hair.com. And you could
Perfect.
just Google International Hair Designs and we come
Yeah.
right up.
And it's designs
That's
with an
correct.
S, with an
That's
S.
correct.
Excellent. Because you do so much business. You're not just doing one design, you're doing many.
That's correct.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. So we're going to jump into the O here in bacon, and that is outstanding experience, right? I always look at this as it's over delivering. The book that I had created, which was, I call it's The Legends of Sales. And I tell people all the time, there's 3 things you have to do to be successful in that marketing and sales connection. And the 3 things is know your customer, number 1. 2 is tell great stories that makes you memorable. And 3 is over deliver. Give them something they didn't expect. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
During our meetings, our salon meetings, sometimes I'll talk to the staff and I'll say, basically it's not what International Hair Designs can do for you. It's what you can do for International Hair Designs. So it's kind of one of those things where if you're expecting 100% out of something and you're only giving it 80%,
Yeah.
you're gonna fumble.
Right.
It's just not gonna
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen. But if you give something 100%
Oh my gosh. Right.
and you get 95% back, that's a win.
Oh,
It's a win-win.
completely,
It's a
completely.
win-win.
You've only got that one shot sometimes to make a great impression with that person. And every time they come back, they didn't come to see you be substandard, right? They didn't come here to listen to your problems. They came here as an escape. It's a treat, right? It's a vacation.
That's correct.
Right?
Absolutely.
So
People, that's what they do come for. And
Yeah.
it's a very comfortable salon to be in and
Beautiful.
and to relax in. And it's not just women, it's men, it's
Yeah.
grandmas, it's children, it's grandpas, we have a
Beautiful.
barber.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we
Oh,
do.
you do?
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know that.
Carl is our barber. He's
Okay.
outstanding.
I keep thinking about this one thing that I haven't had in a while, and I want to get my son, or sons, I should say, in together, and we want to go someplace where we can get a barber just for the shaves. A nice
Yeah,
shave.
I mean, Carl's my oldest son, so it's like it.
Oh, that is
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, so it's who
So we'll connect my sons with your sons.
finance guy, and he
loves being a barber.
Oh, and he also runs the business too. So it's like,
Oh, that's even better. Wow,
yeah.
that's even better.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love that.
yeah, so
I love that. So talking about a little bit more about this outstanding experience, giving them the way I look at it is that every time a customer leaves your facility, whether it be a salon, a restaurant, I'm a plumber, every time they leave, they are going to have a memory. And it's up to us to make sure that it's a good memory. It's not, there was poor service. He didn't cut my hair correctly. They left a mess when they installed something. It's do something to stand out. And when you do something that they didn't expect, something so positive, that the people walk out and they become an advocate for your business, right? They're the ones who are like, oh my God, I just went there and they did this and this and this. I didn't expect it. I didn't ask for this, and this is what they do. So you have to, as a business owner, understand that every interaction, those people are going to leave and they're going to have one memory, and that one memory that they can remember, but also one memory to share. And what memory would you like it to be, right? So I think it's really important for us to focus on things like the small things, just really tiny things that really just make a small difference.
I agree 100%. Attention's in the details. So it's definitely about the dotting the I's and the crossing the T's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so important in any business, really.
Right.
Is that without that, you're not going to develop that relationship, and you're not going to have that awesome wow experience.
Right.
That's really, I mean, if you're going to do it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we all have been in those situations, and everybody where they've had that waiter or that situation.
Sure.
Where we're going to a hotel or on a vacation, where
Right,
you're like,
right.
wow, that was just unbelievable.
Exactly.
And that's when I'm traveling,
Yeah.
around the world, or I'm always taking notes.
Yeah.
And I'm taking notes, and I'm like, okay, that's something that I want to
stood out,
instill
right.
into my culture.
'Cause-
Is that's how you learn.
Yeah, because we talk a lot on some of these other shows that we have here about the customer experience. And one of the things is just that is, let's say you go to a restaurant. So we'll just make it very neutral. You go to a restaurant. There are certain things you expect to happen, right? You expect your food to come out right.
Of course.
right? It's supposed to be warm, right? All this kind of stuff. And if they miss out on that kind of stuff and they don't do something out of the ordinary, that's how I'm going to remember it going, it wasn't that the food kind of it took too long. It was, mine came out too late. It was cold, etc. That's the things we're going to remember because we, as humans, we like to share stories. So after I go somewhere, I'm going to want to share the story with somebody. And you want to do something for them to go, oh my God, I just got back from International Hair Designs. It was absolutely amazing. Not, it's the same old place.
Happens a lot.
Yeah.
It's a very common thing, and that's where that referral comes in, and
Completely.
in the repeat business,
Right.
And it's there's nothing more important to us is than our clients and our employees.
Yes.
Those are just the most important parts of the business.
Completely.
And then, and it's about giving back too.
Right.
There's things that we do as a company where we give back.
Good.
And
so let me ask you this. Here's another part about this outstanding experience. How much freedom or empowerment do you give to your teams for them to make some decisions on swaying or things? Do you give them anything? Just, or
absolutely. Like I said, they've been there. Some of them have worked there since, straight out of beauty school.
Right.
And now their kids are married with kids. So
That's wild.
It's unbelievable. So they kind of know they know it's appropriate, and they know they're part of the business too.
Yeah.
It's really, that's what International Hair Designs is. I'm just the one holding steering the ship now.
I know,
it's going to be,
right.
It was somebody before me, the original founder,
but it's
and
still
now I'm
family.
the president, and down the line, it's going to be somebody else, maybe my son or my grandson.
Yeah.
So,
that's great.
You don't know. So it's one of those things where I've talked to, some people about that, where it builds its own. International Hair Designs kind of built its own life. It's kind of like
that's beautiful.
That it's been there, and a lot of people know it's there and know where it's located. And it's because it's the way people can get treated when they're there, is that they know they're most important. They're not just a number.
And I think I love the way you put it that way. Is they know they're treated like real people. There's a legacy involved in that, and it's all built on that strong reputation.
It is. It's our country is made up of mostly small family mom and pop businesses.
Yeah.
That's really that's what really drives everything in our economy.
Sure.
And it really is. And so it's something that's really important, and it's and it's been tough. There's been times, getting through COVID, and there's a lot of things that go on in a business behind that people don't really know about, running a business. I've had people, through the chamber, that have asked me, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, and I'm thinking about starting business. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, you've got a great job. You got a pension, right? Yeah. I get 8 weeks paid vacation. I go, oh, wow, that's amazing.
Because you ain't going to get that when you start your own business.
Sure, you want to start your own business?
Exactly.
It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week,
sometimes 8 days
365 days a year.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really what it is to have your own business. Sometimes I'm 90 days in a row. Where I'm working with. It's like, that's I love it, and that's what it's all about.
And that's one of the things we just talked about a little bit before in the crosstalk of the last show was when I'm hiring or I look at my employees, I drop them into one of three categories or a combination thereof. And I call it the 3 Ps, because you have some employees, hopefully not long, that only work for a paycheck. They're the paycheck people, right? Then you got those that are there for personal growth. Right. And then lastly, there's those who have a passion for either the industry or your brand, your name. Right. And I think those are the three. And when you think about it, the more you can get those people who are just there for a paycheck, they might be holding a spot for someone else that you really need.
Absolutely. And that's where, there's risk involved.
Oh, yeah.
There's risk involved when you own your own business, is like you just said, absolutely. And it's about taking risks too.
Right.
Being a business owner.
Yeah.
That's
oh my gosh. Yeah. All the fun.
And it's about failure too. That's, I'm the perfect example of that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I've
Oh,
learned.
I might have failed a little more than you,
I
but
don't
that's
know
all
about
right.
that. I don't know about that, Marty. So, I've learned everything I think I've learned has come from through that.
Oh yeah, you have to learn from failure. Right,
I
right.
mean, without failure, there's definitely no success.
And there's no growth. You can't
Yeah, there's
grow.
just no
Yeah,
success.
exactly.
You
I
know?
like that. I like
Mhm.
that. And I think that's an important thing for you to not only share with businesses, all existing new businesses, but it's also you got to share that idea with employees, your team, that they are going to try something. If they want to grow, they're going to be making mistakes. The
Absolutely.
person who never makes a mistake is not trying anything, right?
That's
They're
correct.
they're
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 not
not
going
taking
outside the box.
they're
You know?
not taking any risks, right? All right. So the last N here, because we've covered quite a bit. I really like this. I think we I love when I have a guest here we agree on a little bit and are able to bounce ideas. So the bacon we've been talking about is B, building relationships. Is active listening. C is customization, really important stuff. O is outstanding or over delivering, outstanding experiences. And N is nurturing the reputation. We've been talking a lot about nurturing our relationships with our customers and building this community, but it's also strong. We touched on it a little bit, but nurturing the reputation of the business. In other words, you set standards for your business. I always say you got to come up with a set of core values. This is what we stand for. This is what we want to be known for. And you got to nurture it. You can't bend those. You can't come up with a core value. You go, oh, I think our customers like hearing that. No, it's got to be true. You got to live to it. All right. It's a combination of value and virtue. The things we say we stand for are legitimately, we really stand for them.
Absolutely.
Okay. So tell me some of the ways that you really teach your team how to nurture the reputation of International Hair. What would you say?
Well, I'd say some of it would be giving back.
Okay.
I think that's an important part of what international hair design is
Right.
too. There's St. Baldrick's. I don't know if you've ever heard of
Sure,
that. We've
sure.
done an
Where
event.
you give the hair,
That's
right?
correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Or where we had an event at the Salon where we had a huge event
Oh,
where we had a
wow.
St. Baldrick's event where people came in. It was for kids' childhood cancer.
Right,
So
right.
we ended up raising over $10,000
Holy
for
cow, that's
for
neat.
this. So it's about giving back to that, and it was just an outstanding event.
That sounds
And
amazing.
another thing that we do is we do um, fill the van for Saint
I
Angela's.
like that.
It's
Nice,
fill the
nice.
van for Saint Angela's. We do that for Christmas, and
Oh, and it's toys and
it's
stuff. Right.
toys that we collect and we bring to my church, St. Thomas of Villanova,
Okay.
and it's another sister school on the
Yeah.
west
Yeah,
side of
yeah.
Chicago.
Right. Oh, okay.
So that we've been doing this probably over 10 years. So that's part of that. What you're talking about, it's part of more than just there's other things that involved about giving back
Right, right.
as a team member or a part of International Hair Designs.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
also going to do the Feed My Starving Children.
Okay.
I don't know if
Oh,
you've heard
that'll be
about that.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
I've done that for plenty of time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
these are fun things where you bond, and we've also done. We've been in the parade for Lake Zurich.
Okay. Yeah.
Where we give away things and we do raffles
Yeah.
like that, those type of things. So those are things where the not only do the clients enjoy it, but the employees enjoy it too.
Right, right. And I think what's important is when you talked earlier about it being a small business, every single person who works at that salon has access to the president of the company. I mean,
Absolutely.
you have,
Direct dial,
and
right?
so I absolutely love, and I've spent my entire life really working for small companies. I've worked for some larger ones like that where you become a number,
Mhm.
and I never liked that. I want access. I would trade some income for a working at a place where I can talk to the president. Okay, and I feel I can put forth the greatest effort. I can do the most. I can help the company the most if I really know where the company's going.
I agree,
You know,
100% on
now it's
that,
not
Marty.
to say that if Apple called me and said they wanted me to do something for
Yeah,
them, I
well,
wouldn't
okay,
say no.
we'd
Yeah,
probably both go.
yeah, exactly. But I always love this idea. And so the reason I was bringing that up is the stuff that you're talking about giving back because they know you, they know it's from the heart. This is real. This is not a publicity stunt to
Not at
say,
all.
no, yeah, we're just doing this so people care about us. No, it's real. It means something. And that's what makes it so
I,
special.
I mean, we're blessed. We're very fortunate to be in the community that we're in.
Yeah,
These surrounding communities that we're involved at Lake Zurich,
right.
Barrington, Long Grove, Killdeer, Hawthorne
It
Woods.
is a great
Oh
series of
my
little
gosh,
towns
it's
and villages.
unbelievable. It's so amazing that we're so lucky, so fortunate. So I think giving back as a company is very important.
Yes, yeah. I think it's got to be part, and
Mhm.
it's what I like is it seems like it's part of your lifeblood. It's
It
part of
is.
it's as important as advertising and trying to get new people in there is just this giving back and being part because you're part of like you said, it's part of one large community.
That's
So
correct.
it's important to not just be a taker, but go back and forth. Okay, so Bruce, we're down to like the last 4 minutes here. If you were to say sum up something that if you said, wow, somebody missed the entire thing, I lost the recording, whatever, and we only had the last couple of minutes, what would you say are some of the most important things that any business can learn? Some of the stuff that, the highlights of what we talked about today, or maybe something we missed, something that is the great takeaway. What would you want to throw out at the audience?
I don't know. I'd say definitely whether it's the hair business
Yeah,
or any other business, I think you need to be disciplined.
I like it. Yep.
You need to be determined, and you need to be dedicated to your.
I love a guy who uses those kind of
Yeah,
alliterations.
yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, you really do.
Yeah,
You need
yeah.
to. Those are definitely some things you need to do, and you need to invest in your employees too as a business, whether you're big or small. I think you need to. It's a really important part of growing the business and being in business, whether it's like I said, no matter what business you're in,
I
is
love it.
that is you.
I think it's beautiful. I think that's excellent. That's a great way to end it. But since I have a couple more minutes, what I'm going to do is just a recap to everyone. If you missed any of today's episode, definitely tune into Bacon Bits with Master Happiness later this week. I'm going to try to get this recording up really quick because I really enjoyed this conversation. This has been one of my favorites here. But then again, I say that after every
There you
episode.
go.
Okay. So the bacon we covered today with my friend Bruce Whitmire from International Hair Designs in Lake Zurich is B was building relationships, A is active listening, C is customization, O is outstanding experience, and N is nurturing reputations. These are lessons that are not just for a salon, it's for every little business. So definitely tune in next week and look forward to the recording so you can hear the whole thing. Maybe get some snippets, maybe use it as a training video for your people. All right. So with the last couple of minutes, I'm going to ask you another question. I'm going to tell you what, pick a number from 1 to 10. We're gonna throw it at you. I'll let you choose your own poison here.
Uh, uh,
Pick a number from 1 to 10.
tell you the number.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
7.
7. Yeah. But this isn't a guessing. It's not a magic.
Uh,
1, 2, 3,
well, you're
4,
a musician
6,
too,
7.
so
All right. Oh, this is nice. How about this? This is a beautiful one. This isn't even a tricky one. What is the best compliment a client has ever given you or one of your stylists?
definitely the compliment you can give a stylist is to refer a
Oh,
client as a
beautiful.
referral.
Beautiful.
I mean, that's it right there, and that's something that's. I think we even have that on
The best compliment.
the
Yeah.
mirrors. Yeah, we have that
Oh,
logo that
that's
says
beautiful.
that. That
And
says
and
that.
again, and it's not just for stylists, it's for any business.
That's
The
correct.
greatest compliment you can ever tell or help any business, a restaurant, a shoe store, international hair designs, whatever, the best compliment you can give. If you truly spend more time saying nice things about the good places than we do spend time knocking places that we might have one small
Right.
incident
Right.
with. All right, let's
Absolutely.
let's all promise to do that. In the meantime, that's how we're going to master happiness, right? So in the meantime, thank you so much, Bruce. Again, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Marty.
All
I
right,
appreciate it very much. Thanks for having me
you
on.
had fun.
I did.
All
Thank
right,
you.
good, good.
Thank
So
you.
so we'll see. Maybe we'll get you back again with actual style.
That would be great.
All right,
Love it. Love
maybe
it.
what we'll do is we'll set it up, and they're going to be cutting someone's hair live.
Well, we could do it.
That's right. I have to grow some.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
Again, thank you guys so much for tuning into Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. Of course, I'm your host, Marty Jalov, every Monday night here. But if you miss an episode, tune into Bacon Bits wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you again so very much.